If you imagine that Twitter can grow in the same way that Facebook has since it was Twitter's size in terms of users and revenue for, say, 5 years, you can make sense of paying $45 for this today. But the question is, what probability are you willing to place on that happening?
This church has stood since the 16th century and has braved an earthquake of 7.8 on the Richter scale. Unlike in the cities of Tacloban and Basay, northwest of here, it wasn't surging water that did the damage, but the wind.
Pero kayo hindi nyo iniisip umalis. Walang makaon, pagkain ng problema. Pero kayo? Wala problema. Bigas naman, kain naman yan. Hindi kayo alis. Hindi kayo lilipas sa ibang lugar. Tingin nyo magre-recover din kayo? Magkano kaya katagal? Tagal pa mga 5 years siguro. 5 years.
The big new natural gas finds will profoundly impact Israel's energy independence and promise to bring in some $60 billion in export earnings over the next 20 years. They could also profoundly transform political relations in the region depending on where Israel chooses to export the gas.
Delek, Noble, and their partners invested $3.5 billion in Tamar. They built the rig in Corpus Christi, Texas, and tugged it here to the eastern Mediterranean, where it pumps gas from about 230 meters under the sea. The two companies are also studying possible pipelines to Jordan, the Palestinian Authority, or even Egypt, whose own gas industry has been sabotaged since the beginning of the Arab Spring by militants in the Sinai.
Millions of dollars of government funds are missing. The man in charge of fighting corruption is in hospital with 3 bullets in his head. And even the president of this country says that he doesn't know where all the money has gone. It may sound like a political thriller, but it's reality here in Malawi, one of the poorest countries in Africa.
I want to put on record that this is a national tragedy. And I want to say that it has happened for the last 15 years. And that this is a president who has decided that it must come to a stop.
How do you feel personally that corruption continued while you were in power for 18 months?
I feel very sad. It's heartbreaking. Everybody around is traumatized. And I'm talking about the controlling officers themselves, and I'm talking about Malawians at large, and I'm talking about us in leadership and my team, and I'm also talking about the donors.
A Virtu phone is a luxury mobile phone, and like any luxury item, you don't need to buy a luxury item. It's a choice that you have on how you spend your money.
The whole market has become more luxury focused ever since Apple's arrival. People don't buy an iPhone just for a functionality, but of course it's a much cheaper device than a Virtu handset. What it has as an advantage now is that the operating system, the software that it's using Android, and many of the hardware components are very standardized. And that makes it easier to be a successful business without requiring quite such extreme scale economies that it might have needed 15 years ago.